all I gotta say is what a day that we've had. What a freaking day. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you've been watching my previous videos, I've been saying, that I don't think that this is over. I don't think that this, we got a slight pump and, now it's back to destruction. Okay. Now, before we go any further, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to drop a comment, turn the notification bell on if you enjoy my updates and my videos. It really pushes out the channel. Also, this is my Discord. We're crushing it in here again. This was actually a play made a few days ago that some NVDA calls. We got these NVDA calls, alerted them at 152. I sold mine a little early, but they ended up going to 315, basically a double if you were still holding. So more than 100% winner. So if you want plays like this, check out the link in the description. Okay. Now, also at the end of the video, I'm going to show you something super cool that we're working on. Basically, I don't want to give away too much, but you can take a screenshot of a chart and it tells you whether to go long or go short. I'm actually going to show you in real time that, we're moving along with the process. It's super cool. I'm super excited for it. Okay. So let's go into trading view. Now, if you've been watching my videos, like I said, I basically been saying, it's not looking good. It's just not looking good. I mean, look, we're below the 200 SMA. Oh yeah, 200 SMA, and we've just been rolling over. Okay, so now something again, just like today, we basically closed right on this on the previous candle. This was basically support here, and we closed right there again. Now, what I would expect is, I'm not saying that more downside can't happen, but what I'm saying is right now, I think it's one of those things just like the other day. I think that tomorrow, today is Thursday, okay? Tomorrow is Friday. That'll be the last trading day of the week. I believe that tomorrow will be, again, nothing I say is financial advice, okay? I believe that tomorrow would be some sort of relief rally. Maybe not even a rally, but I don't think it might not even be a rally, but I don't think that we're going to dump any further before at least taking some sort of a breather. Okay, that's just what I believe. Now we're gonna have to see. Now, if you see in overnight hours, the stocks kind of did pump a little bit, so I believe that there will be some sort of relief tomorrow. I'm not saying that we're gonna SPY is going to pump $10. That's not what I'm saying. It could happen. I'm not calling for that. I'm just saying that I think it'll be somewhat neutral, maybe a slight push. Okay, after such heavy sell off, usually there's got to be some sort of kind of relief. Okay, now, again, like I've been saying, we've rejected the 200 SMA. And if you've been watching my videos, you're in my Discord, you've watched my trainings, you know that I talk about the 200 SMA a lot. I mean, look at that. We rejected it twice, and every time that we rejected it, we came back down. Okay. So, something that I'm looking for, again, is this going to hold tomorrow? This 400, this 645 level. Now, I will say this: if this does not hold tomorrow, I believe that this 613 could happen, and it could get ugly quick. Okay. Now, I honestly hope that doesn't happen. Okay. I know a lot of people's portfolios, including myself, especially my long term portfolios, they're hurting right now. So I mean, I really don't want this to hit. But if we do close below this level, I'm going to say that, it is possible for us to go down to this next level. Now, again, like I said, I do believe that tomorrow, will be some sort of neutrality, maybe a slight push. We could push even higher, but that's just what I'm expecting. And I don't like to predict anything because I just take it day by day. Again, one tweet can change everything. We still got the whole thing with Iran, we still got the war, stuff like that stuff is still unfolding. There was a ceasefire, and then Iran basically said, no, we don't want to do this. You're going to do it our way, and the markets just keep getting destroyed off of that news. Okay, so that's basically my thoughts on SPY for right now. Let's go into the NVIDIA chart. All right, so if you've been on my channel for quite some time, you know that I've been talking about this level for a minute. I mean, again, every time that we've hit this level, this 171.40, 171.30-ish level, we have bounced. We bounced, we bounced, we bounced, and look at where we are again. I told my community, again, check out the community, check out the Discord, because that's where I actually, alert and I say, hey, this is what I'm buying, when I'm buying, how much I'm buying, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, and like I said, I've been waiting for this. I literally, the other day, I on this candle, I'll never forget, I didn't pull the trigger because I was so stubborn. I wanted this level. I should have taken that trade. It was close enough, but I always like to follow my own instinct. And, like I said, I was waiting for this level. Now, we did break below it a little bit, but, just like in this previous candle, we broke below it and then, we ran up. Okay. So again, this is where I bought today. I was like, you know what? It finally hit my level. Finally, I think I got in like 10 cents early, 20 cents early, if I'm being honest. But this is the level that I've been waiting for. In my opinion, I don't think that this is going to break. Now, it could. I mean, if we go into a recession, it's 100% going to break. If this conflict continues to keep growing and growing, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, yeah, markets are going to tank. I mean, you got to know that markets are just going to continue to capitulate, and markets are going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. But I believe that this war will be over quite soon. I'm hoping so, at least. And again, this is a good entry to get in. I mean, again, look at how many times, bounce, bounce, bounce. This is the fourth time. Okay, so if this holds tomorrow, if we have some sort of, like I said, maybe possibly, a neutral state to possibly a push, maybe even a rally tomorrow. I already bought some calls on this level. So I mean, if we're up, to 173, 174 tomorrow, me and the Discord, we're gonna be happy, because again, we have been waiting for this line to hit, and it finally hit. Okay, so that's really mainly what I'm looking for as far as SPY. Be careful. I believe that as long as the war goes on, we're just going to continue to roll over. Okay. And like I said, if it ends quick and there's a deal and there's a ceasefire, and then it's like, hey, you know what? We're going to agree to this, or agree to that. And we can get both parties to agree. I'm telling you, the markets are more than likely back. And, we can start seeing, higher numbers on SPY, higher numbers, and start to see some green come in. Okay. But until this war is still in the midst, in the midst, anything's on the table. Okay, so you gotta be prepared, and you gotta be vigilant in that. Okay, so again, that's really mainly what I'm looking for. Going into tomorrow, those are the levels that I'm looking for. These are the levels that I've been buying at, and whatnot. Okay, now the last thing I did want to show you is this right here. Now check this out. This is super, super sick. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get there. Let me pause the video and get to the actual screen. All right, guys, so check this out. Now, again, I've been talking about this for a while. This is truevest.ai. This gives you trending stocks. This is a software that we created. It gives you trending stocks. You can get a recommended portfolio, and you can, your risk tolerance, whether you're a day trader, swing trader, long-term investor. It's super, super cool. It's super, super sick. And, we have a lot of people using it right now. Now, this is the newest thing that we have added to our software, which is this AI chart scanner. Now check this out. Okay, so basically what you do now, it's not done yet. It's still in the B for beta, so it's still in beta testing. So we're still working on it, but it is, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks away from launch. This is super, super sick. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to take a chart. This is Netflix, by the way. Okay, you're going to put the symbol, the ticker symbol, so NFLX, yeah, Netflix. Analyze the chart, and then basically it'll take a couple seconds, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. And then basically it'll pop up and it'll show you, hey, where to go short, where to go long, and stuff like that. Okay. It's taking a little longer than normal. And that's why it's in beta, because we're still testing things out. There we go. Okay, so it tells you that it's bearish. It basically gives you an AI confidence score, and then basically, it gives you an explanation here, key takeaways, it's bearish, bullish. Okay. Now here's what the cool part is that it shows you support, it shows you resistance levels, it shows you the gap, which is basically the gap is right here. So, and actually again, like as you can see from, so gap fill, so it's a little off, and like I said, that's why it's still in beta. We've told our members that it's there, but it's not 100% because we're basically like less than a week into this, and this is going to take probably about a month long to make sure that all the mechanics are working right. Okay, so again, but it shows you all that. It shows you the short-term trade, shows you a long-term trade, and then it shows you an options trade to get into, whether it's put or call. Okay, so it's super sick. Like I said, I'm actually super excited about this. I've seen this pretty much everywhere. Like I feel like everybody's trying to do this now, and I told the guy that does the software, I'm like, bro, we should hop on this because this is super quick, super cool. You just take a screenshot of the chart and it tells you when to buy, when to sell. I'm like, that's freaking sick. Okay, like I said, we're still working on it, and we're about, actually I think we're like 4 days into working on it. Okay, so we still got to make sure that all the mechanics are working right. But once this thing is done, I would say probably mid-April to actually, what are we in? Yeah, mid-May. I'm sorry, excuse me, mid-May, it'll be done. And, this will be a game changer in the trading world. And like I said, this is just a new addition on top of the get recommendations tab and on top of the trending stocks. Okay. So, and then there's also a ton of things in here as well that you can check out, stealth trading, penny plays, unusual volumes, stuff like that. There's so many tools in here. If you want this, the link is in the description. Okay, so that is basically it for the video, guys. Be careful going into tomorrow. I think that tomorrow could be possibly, like I said, neutral, if not maybe a rally. Okay, so, and we're gonna have to see as this whole war unfolds. Take it day by day. Okay, so we will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe.